Everyone, it's Jennifer.
And it's Jonil.
We are still in Laguna Beach right now, and we're going to be talking all about just facing your failures. So this is when you've already failed something and now you don't know what to do going forward.
Yeah, and this is just like failure in any sense. It doesn't mean failure in the literal sense, like you fail a test necessarily. It could be like, I don't know, maybe you didn't get a job for a job interview you did.
Yeah.
Failure in any sense.
Exactly. Everyone's going to face failure at some point in their life. And I think the main things that we usually feel when we face failure is we're like afraid of what's gonna come ahead. Like you kind of had this plan of what you were going to do, and like this is like your best path. And then when failure comes your way, things that you had planned now has to change, and now you don't know just where to go from there.
Yeah, I think you're just confused about what's next. Like, what's your next step? What do you do next? And you also feel obviously a little less confident. You might not feel like you have as much potential anymore. Like, you just feel a little like down and like less than others because you experience some kind of failure.
Another thing that you feel often is you're just like worried about what people think of you. Like it's kind of embarrassed sometimes to fail, and then sometimes you feel like you need a reason to tell people like why you failed, that like it wasn't your fault and there's all these other
you
factors.
Make all these excuses.
Yeah, exactly. Because you don't want to I don't know, you want to save face.
Yeah. And I think also like when you experience some kind of failure, you might just be like tired, especially depending on like what you've been through. You might just be tired and like you have no energy literally to like keep pushing and keep moving forward.
Yeah,
even though you know that that's what you should be doing.
Yeah, like once you fail, it's not glamorous work anymore. Like usually when you're on a good path, you're like, I'm striving to be the best at what I can be. And then when you fail something, you have to repeat it or like do something over. You're almost like in survival mode, and it's nothing fun about doing that kind of work.
Yeah. So I think we were like just trying to think of like what is a new perspective or a good perspective to have when you experience some kind of failure. And what I read online was actually something I've never thought about before, which said that failure is an opportunity to start over again more intelligently. And I thought that was like a really good point, because when you fail something, quote unquote, you pretty much have a second chance to do it over again smarter, right?
Exactly.
It's like you pretty much just use what you just don't do what you did the first time.
Exactly.
Right? So it's like just look at it as like it's your second chance to do it again, but better.
Yeah, I think mainly in your 20s, maybe it'll be the first times that you experience any type of failure in the beginning, because life gets so ambiguous later on. And I think it's easier for you to feel like you failed in some sense. And I think that facing that failure initially is scary because you just don't know how to navigate it. You haven't done anything in the past that shows that you have the skill sets and the mentality to figure out how to pull yourself out and up and get through it gracefully. But I think once you face it the first time, it's like that fear of failure in the future when you take on and tackle bigger challenges and risks, it's gonna get lower. So you're gonna be able to be well equipped and not be as scared because you knew that you navigated through a failure in the past, and now you're feeling more confident in yourself.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think when you're facing failure, or if you've seen an example of someone facing failure gracefully. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe to our video if you want to hear more from us. Bye.